Day 2. When my sister realized how serious things had become, she blocked my number and all social media accounts. I didn't try to reach her again. As far as I'm concerned, she's no longer family. With the evidence compiled, my lawyer helped me file a civil lawsuit against Sarah's parents and my sister. We cited conspiracy to commit fraud, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and unlawful enrichment. I wasn't just after the money, I wanted everything out in the open. I went to my workplace and sat down with HR. I explained the general situation, left out names, but made it clear that an illegal case involving me might gain attention soon. They appreciated the honesty and made a note of it, offering to refer me to a legal support firm if I needed it. 3 days later, I got an email forwarded to my lawyer. A legal journalist who specialized in identity fraud and staged disappearances had been tipped off anonymously. They wanted to speak with me and requested access to the case materials. We called a meeting. I gave them access to redacted versions of the files, removing any personal identifiers, and made it clear I wanted to stay anonymous for now. They agreed. A few days after that, another email arrived. This time from Sarah's lawyer. They requested a legally supervised meeting between both parties, with law enforcement present. The meeting would be recorded, and no direct contact outside legal channels would be allowed. It was clear they were trying to protect Sarah while still testing the waters for possible negotiation. I didn't respond right away. I forwarded the email to my attorney and waited for his advice. But I already knew one thing for certain. I wasn't walking away this time. Too many people had helped her vanish, and too many of them thought they'd never face consequences. The meeting was going to happen, and when it did, I was going to make sure the truth came out recorded, documented, and impossible to deny. The meeting with Sarah was scheduled at a neutral location, a legal conference room downtown with glass walls and a mounted camera. A police officer sat in the corner. My lawyer and I arrived first, followed by Sarah and her attorney. She walked in head down, didn't look at me. Once the officer turned on the recording device and confirmed all parties were present, her lawyer started by laying out their narrative. According to them, Sarah had staged her death because of emotional distress. They claimed she felt overwhelmed and controlled, and that the idea of disappearing seemed safer than trying to fight through a divorce. I let them finish without interruption. When they were done, I opened my folder and handed over a USB drive. My lawyer explained what was on it: timestamped emails, digital messages, and planning documents between Sarah, her parents, and my sister. The files showed discussions about how to disappear, how to change names legally, how to avoid detection, and even how to time the fake death to match a weekend storm. We addressed the coroner's report next. I brought out a printed copy showing how it had been filed by a retired officer, a known friend of Sarah's family, despite nobody ever being found. We highlighted that the death certificate contained language pulled from a generic template and was filed unusually fast. Then we moved on to the life insurance policy. I had records showing the policy had been modified with the beneficiary changed to Sarah's mother, just months before the staged disappearance. My lawyer asked Sarah directly who filled out the change forms. She didn't answer. Her lawyer said Sarah had no access to the money, that her parents handled everything. They claimed she never benefited financially from any of it and had only agreed to vanish out of fear. They floated the idea of a compromise. Sarah might cooperate, but only if criminal charges were taken off the table. We refused. My lawyer said we would not agree to immunity for someone who orchestrated a fake death, allowed her husband to mourn for years, and committed document fraud. We were open to reducing her civil liability if she gave us full cooperation and named every person involved. Then they pushed for blanket immunity for Sarah, her parents, my sister, and the officer who signed the report. I stood up and told them there was no deal. We weren't negotiating with criminals. The meeting ended minutes later. Sarah still hadn't said a word. She walked out the same way she came in, head down, eyes on the floor. That same evening, I filed a formal complaint with the local police department about the falsified coroner's documents. I submitted the evidence, listed the people involved, and asked for an internal review of how a death certificate was issued without a confirmed body. I made sure to include all supporting timelines. After that, I contacted a second journalist. This one worked for a national investigative outlet and had experience covering identity fraud. I gave them access to the full unredacted file, everything. Names, dates, files, photos, even the screenshots from the marketplace account. Their team began reviewing immediately, confirming authenticity and tracing the network of people involved in the background.